Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of jbassers Exposed Vet Productions on this beautiful Thursday, 18th day of September. The days are getting shorter and the time's going by faster. Today we've got a treat for you. We've got our co-host, Mr. Ray Cobb. We got my better half. She's hiding behind the screen. She's a producer. And we got actually, we got three guests tonight. The first one that doesn't need an introduction. It's Mr. Alex Graham. He's a show regular. Alex is an accredited appeals agent, not attorney practitioner, and he is one of the special monthly compensation gurus that I've met over the years. Then we've got Mrs. Tamar Dyson,
Yes, that's right.
and our main guest tonight is Mrs. Jenny Lohnes. Jenny is an attorney. She's based out of the D.C. area. She's retired military, and just talking to her the other day, and it's kind of a good story what she did. Jeannie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Start us off and tell us a bit about yourself, and what you do and things like that. Just kind of give us a heads up so we're comfortable with us to know what what you do for a living.
Sure. Well, I mean, I can a little bit about my service. I joined I enlisted when I was 17 years old. My parents had to sign the waiver to let me in. I got into transportation because at the time I wanted the shortest AIT with the largest bonus, and that was in 2000 I think. Anyway, I got a $6,000 bonus, and I ended up being a truck driver. So. I did that for a couple of years until they realized I was not a great driver, and I eventually transitioned on to be a paralegal and then eventually an attorney in the JAG Corps. So I was in Kosovo in 2004 and Iraq in 2009. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I met my husband at the basic course, the JAG school in Charlottesville. He's active duty, he's JAG. We have 4 kids, and we're living right now currently near DC. 5 kids. Got one in college, so he's pretty self-sufficient. So I don't count him since he's not at home anymore.
You have one in college.
One in college.
I hope you got some scholarships because college is not cheap.
Yes, he's ROTC, so he's getting there.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Being familiar with that area, I like the area. It's a little bit crazy. Uh, I wish they all knew how to drive a little better because I had to say a lot of them can't drive to save their life over there. I call
Yeah.
that Captain Crunchville. I'm serious. There's wrecks everywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm. But now, whatever made you decide to take up VA law?
Well, mostly, I retired from the military, and the kids that we have at home, my oldest is special needs, and this allows me to work around his schedule, work around the stuff that I have going on, and it allows me to give back.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a good answer. I mean, it's always a good thing when you can give back,
Yes.
and you can take care of veterans and things like that, which is really good. I mean, now in your practice, I guess you start with the appeals processes, and do you go up to the BVA level, or do you keep going until you go to the CAVC, or how do you go? I mean, that's a good question we have to ask.
Yeah, so I have a few cases at the Court of Appeals or at the CAVC right now, but I usually like to stay at the regional office, BVA. I'm more comfortable there.
Well, my personal
Lex,
opinion, I
on the
mean,
other
it's
hand, he's pretty good.
More money there.
What'd you
it's
say?
always better. Go ahead, Alex.
I just said there's more money down below than there is at the court.
That's true too. That is true too. But of course, money is not everything, Alex. I mean, I run this show, and I haven't seen a dime, so
Well, I'm not thinking of it in terms of just making money, but Jenny, I could tell by looking at the room behind her that she doesn't get to sit there for free. What different? I hit the jackpot and I have a rich wife, but not
hmm well,
everybody.
you gotta remember, Alex. There's two JDs in that house. Okay.
Yeah, well, I just look at standpoint is that I buy all my independent medical opinions for my guys, and if I win 30, 40,000, I don't have the heart to say, "Hey, you owe me 2,000 back." So I give those away. They need it more than I do. We don't.
Well, you gotta.
We donate a ton of money to Tunnel to Towers and Fisher House too. So
Mm-hmm.
Fisher House, they let my wife stay there for almost a month and a half when they thought I was going to die back in 2009. And they generally say only a week, maybe two in a stretch. But I just didn't
Yeah,
die. It took me a long time not to die.
I had to say that's one of the best things that the VA has got in their facilities and their grounds is the Fisher House.
It is.
We've got a beautiful one here. I saw it today, as a matter of fact, and and what they do for people and things like that. There's kitchens you can cook and do whatever you want to do in there, and they're beautiful buildings.
And those
So,
refrigerators are full of food all the time. You don't have to run down the fridge.
you can't do that here. You get run over. It's called Frogger Lane. So, but Alex, you teach classes on special monthly compensation. Is this how you met some of these folks? Is this some of your students that you over the past that you taught them? And because I know you're the guru when it comes to SMC. You started Mr. Potato Head many moons ago.
Mr. Potato Head was born in 2013 for SMC purposes, but there's a gal named Betty Jones. She's an agent up in Chicago, and she kept pestering me day in and day out after the pandemic was over, and saying, "I've got a whole bunch of people who want to learn this." And finally, I said, "Okay, if you can assemble 10 at one time, I'll do it." Well, she had 10 and another 10 lined up behind that, and it turned out it was another 10 behind that. But I just didn't feel like drowning um, the market with too many people that know how to do it, because then it cheapens it. I know that CCK is really good at it, but they're nobody's perfect at this. And I'm not saying that I am, but things change all the time. And a good example of that is Barry versus McDonough has opened up quite an avenue for us to go at it and get to N and a half plus K using SMCP, which creates its own opportunity to reach R1 for a lot of people, much like the people who get to SMCT via 1L for aid and attendance. So it's constantly changing. I've taught it, and now I almost have to go back and reteach it with all the new stuff. We've lost John, looks like. There he is.
Yeah, it's a never-ending battle. I mean, because they're always making changes. You get to work
That's
the Federal
actually
Register like a hawk.
You bet.
how I met Alex. I reached out to Alex because I had a tricky case where I didn't think I was going to get the guy past 60%, and he had a number of issues, but I couldn't figure out how to get it service connected. Anyway, I had posted on a forum that we're both involved in about a foot drop, and he reached out to me and he goes, "Well, foot drop, are you looking at loss of use?" I was like, what's loss of use? Anyway, so we ended up. I mean, he's at SMCL right now. I'm not sure if we're going to go farther with him, but that's how I met Alex, and he just completely changed the way I look at cases now.
Thank you.
I mean, Alex has helped a lot of us immensely over the years. I've been friends with Alex for, oh goodness, I would say going on 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
And so, man, he's been part of the show for a long time. I remember back in the day when he first started coming on the show, it was kind of in our infancy, and he taught us more than we'll ever. I mean, it'd be hard to pay back everything this man's ever taught me.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, he's completely changed the way I practice and how I approach cases now.
One thing that I offer everybody that I taught with my SMC classes, John, it's very important, is to ever have a question about it. There's the device right there. Feel free to call me if you don't understand what you're doing, because they paid good money to learn how to do it. And if they're still confused, and I'm a failure, I didn't succeed in teaching them.
But even before, I will say, and I don't know if Alex, I mean, you might not want to, but Alex has been, even before I took the class, he was available. Like anytime I had questions, he helped me before. I didn't understand it before I took his class, but he was guiding me before I took his class. So I'll always be thankful to Alex.
Well,
Well,
that
for
makes
sure.
a
I
big
mean, it's always,
go ahead.
you talk about foot drop. Our buddy Ray here, I think he's got both his foot dropped now, and he fought that, and basically he had the help of one Mr. James Cripps. He finally used Alex later on in his process to get his R2, but that foot drop, and that you get that second L, and that's a big deal when
Hmm.
it comes to pushing more the compensation,
Right.
and and it's
Well, I think
like I say,
when you
it's
talk
almost.
about
Go ahead,
when
Ray.
you talk about foot drop, one thing that James and I figured out several years ago now, I've had it for 8 or 10 years, and
Hmm.
the most important thing is if you put in for foot drop, loss of use at the same time, they're going to kick you into a different category. That yeah, you'll get it, but it will keep you from getting up to that R2. Um,
Hmm.
we both have a friend that we know that's been on the show with us before, John, that did just exactly that, which we had made the suggestion that he not do that he do one, and then when he wins the first one, then go after the second one. Well, he's kind of was like, I want all my money all at one time. And because of that, he ended up, um, I think it's 8 years of not being able to get to the R2 level. Now he finally just a few 2 or 3 months ago finally reached and was able to get to that R2, but not without going through a lot of additional steps and jumps and hoops and exams, which if he had taken them one at a time, which I think Alex and I even talked about that years ago, um, it's easier to get one approved and get it done correctly than to get two approved. They like to call it bilateral and put you into the P award instead of because two L's put you to the O and the O puts you to the next level of standard aid and attendance or special monthly compensation. And that's a big deal if you're already R1 because the next level is R2. If you're standard, it puts you to R1. So if you do it correctly, you're okay. But don't do it correctly, you're going to have a hard time getting to R1 and R2.
Well, it's like going up Mount Everest. It helps to have a Sherpa. Like I said,
Yeah,
I trained all these gals here and other people is hell, Ray, I'm 74 years old. I'm holding my hand up so it's not shaking. If I put it down here on the keyboard, it goes all over the place, but that's okay. I don't know which one it is, whether it's Parkinson's or Parkinsonism. I don't care, but I can smell it coming a mile away. And when I reach the point where things really get bad, I'm going to be smart enough and pull the plug on myself and just refer other people. I'll probably keep my accreditation just so I have access to VBMS. But I'm going to be handing these things out like a poker chips at a 21 table when I reach that point.
So that's you guys are pretty amazing what you do. I mean, you're so busy, Alex, you don't have time to turn around. Uh, then you go to this Nova conference for a week and come back, and you're probably buried under a bunch of stuff, and you get back.
Yeah, I got 10 new powers of attorney stacked up here on my desk. I haven't even written yet.
Mm-hmm.
I like to look at them and hand them out if I can, to pass them out to other people. And I'm handing them out to about 15 different people. So I said it's like a poker game. You want another hit? Daisy,
But
she's a whippet. She belongs to my son. I'm babysitting her, in case you're wondering what this head is popping up down there on the screen.
Alex and his animals, Mister Doolittle, Doctor Doolittle. No, but Jenny, how some of your claims going as far as client wells? Are you having pretty success in getting people connected, or at the BVA or at the board level? Because I know we want
Yeah.
to try to keep it at the regional office as long as possible, but lately I've seen so many crazy, stupid denials based on nothing that I don't know what they're doing. It's a mess.
Yeah. I actually had a really good one off of a higher level review last week. It was a request for revision where we were able to get this guy service an earlier effective date for his sleep apnea back to 1998. So life changing money for him, and it was off of a higher level review.
Mm.
So I've been having some pretty good luck at the regional office, but for the most part, it's going pretty well at the BVA as well. So
Well,
thankfully.
Mm.
Otherwise, I'll call Wes for those.
Well, I mean, it's what it is what it is. Um, People do have a knack for certain things, but it's good that you can win at the HRLR level. I mean, I've seen a lot of folks win at the HRLR, and then I've seen a lot of folks not win at the HLR. I guess it all
Right.
depends on because I know the HLRs are different locations in the regional offices. You do an HLR, and it goes to somewhere in Florida and somewhere else. So I've got one now, and an HLR would be the second trip for an age attendance claim that was basically rejected by the regional office because they didn't want to make the decision. I guess they wanted a punt. That's another issue. Sometimes the RO didn't want to write a claim, and so
Yeah.
I think I called that a BVA deferral.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
Yeah. I will say most of the SMC claims that I've had for at least that second aid and attendance have had to go to the board.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been lucky a few times with at least the first aid and attendance, but everything else I've had to take to the board.
Jenny, I just got one day before yesterday, and it was, no, Johnny, you only get one aid in attendance. I'm sorry, one to a customer. It says it
From
right
the
there in
board?
the decision. No, you're already getting aid in attendance, dude. That would be,
From the board?
yeah. And I
Oh,
got
wow.
another one from the board from John Crowley, and it was just anti-Alaska. I'm sorry, you can't get there from here. You don't qualify for R2, so you can't get to T. I even have a Mednick IMO saying this person is charcoal. He cannot possibly exist outside of a hospital. And Crowley writes, and besides, there's nothing there that says he needs to be institutionalized. So you're out of here, Jack. That's headed to the CABC. I just handed that to Wesley yesterday.
Well, that one's tough because, I mean, what would happen if they didn't have the caregiver, right? Like it's like they require that box to be checked on the 2680, but oftentimes if you have a caregiver, you're not going to be institutionalized.
Well, you could always hire visiting angels to fill in that if you were a single or a widower or something like that. He didn't have
Yeah.
any daughters that were willing to do it.
Mm.
There's avenues to do it, just like there's avenues for a fiduciary, as opposed to having the wife or the sister or somebody do that for you, or mom.
Yeah.
Hmm. A lot of times with fiduciaries, you got to be careful because if sometimes I've seen the regional office take take the veteran's fiduciary status instead of give it to the wife or maybe a parent or somebody in the family. They give it to another attorney somewhere,
Oh yeah,
and in order to ask
correct.
for yeah, it can get pretty ugly.
Well, they pay them $1.50 a month to do nothing, basically.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the problem is, as I see it, and I've been talking with quite a few people around me here in this business. Fiscal year ends September 30th, and the new chow line starts on October 1st. We're seeing a wheelbarrow loads of BVA decisions coming out, and they're all wrong. Very few of them grant anything. $100 says on October 2nd, you're going to see a complete change. They'll all be granting them because they have money again. The decisions I see come out between September 1 and September 30th almost invariably all have to be appealed. Jenny,
That's interesting.
Jenny,
I'm wishing I wouldn't have taken the case to the board.
have you ever seen a preliminary rating decision code sheet and the SMC calculator come out on 8/25, and all of a sudden on 9/18 there's a brand new rating decision and the old one disappeared? Well, I print the old ones and I use them. I'll go back in on supplemental and says, "Hey guys, you already gave them SMCS. You can't take it back."
Right. I save all my good decisions.
Oh yeah. The moment I see one populate, I print that sucker before it goes bye-bye.
Right. How's it going for you, Tamar?
I have a couple of cases Alex gave me that I've been building up, and one of them, as soon as I got the guy the 100%, oh my God, we made a mistake, and wanted to take it back, and I had to. Well, actually, I sent out an SOS. Alex responded to one of them, and I got him to got some other claims of his. Got some new claims, some of the residuals and stuff included. And this guy had brain cancer, and you could see every screw and every plate right in the top of his head. Like if you looked at it, I took some really graphic pictures, and I think that the people that he started seeing, they really wanted to help him, and so they did get him. We got him to the 100%, got his chapter 35 back, but that was it. And then I had a couple other that they're trying to take away too. So I'm still waiting for some of my other ones to just come through. Like Alex says, you have to kind of build them. But what I was wondering is, when is the time going to come where, because I have a new guy and he was denied because he got it already, right? And so I'm working with him. But when is this whole thing going to get to the point where we can get when he's at the regional office? Alex has been going to the board for years now, and now we got a decision in our favor. How long is that going to take to trickle down? I'm pretty new at this, so I don't know how long that kind of thing takes.
As far as Barry, they haven't updated their manual, have they, Alex?
I don't know.
The BVA wise, for these older guys like 75-ish kind of crew, they generally come right back and promulgate them quickly. Wrong, I might add, because they'll get the effective date wrong. They'll get the percentage wrong. They'll lowball you with the 30% for your heart, and then say, they won't tell you even. They'll just say, we're going to get some exams. Here's a 30 to hold your place in line. Send you out for a C&P, come back and give you the 100, and finally grant it back where it's supposed to be if you appeal it. But I can't get anybody to give me the correct effective date anymore. They just don't. And I feel like browbeating the OIG and saying, would somebody please fix the M21 so we don't have to suffer this? It costs the client money. We'd be
costs everybody money. The government, everybody.
God, it just irks me no end to see this gross inefficiency because they're using AI and OCR and scanning everything. It's all being done by machines, and machines can't see the illogic of having an original claim with a 526 in 2015, and you finally grant after 3 BVA opinions and remands, and they say, yep, you're service connected. That service connected is back to 2015, not the day of the CMP exam. It just don't, it doesn't compute because it's a machine. It's not a human being. When I first started in this business in 1989, I went down and had a little attitude talk with my rating officer at the regional office. And there was a secretary at a front desk. I said, "Hey, is John in?" Because I could see his name on my decision. She says, "Yeah, third desk down on the left." And just walk back there and sit down. "Hi, John. My name's Alex." "Oh, yeah, I read your file." I said, "Yeah, well, cool. How come I didn't win?" He says, "Well, yeah, you got to have more mustard on your hot dog, son." And he was also the guy that did my VA home loan. He was a man of jack of all trades. He later became the regional office director, even though he didn't have a college degree. That was back before they ever used SES guys. But it was much more accessible. Now everything's locked. Metal detectors, dogs that bite you, and everything else. You cannot get into the vault where the Veteran Service Center is, where the Raiders are.
That's the Tom Cruise effect, Alex. Did you ever heard of the Tom Cruise effect?
No, I'm not familiar with that one, John, but I have a sneaky suspicion you're going to tell me all about it.
You know, back in the first Jack Reacher movie, Tom Cruise was interviewed by the chief of police there in the small town. And, you know, of course, Jack Reacher was also an investigator for the Army. And uh, the policeman asked him, "Well, we're the same. There's no difference between you and I." So Tom Cruise turned and looked at the police chief and said, "Yes, there's one difference." He said, "What's that?" He said, "The people that I investigate are trained killers." That's the Tom Cruise effect. Because they used to rotate these guys around every so often too. You know, they would move their positions. You know, it was like musical chairs in that office. The woman would stay around a year or two and go to the next place, and it's kept moving around and around and around. And then when they started this national work queue and everybody started grabbing files off the computer, then things changed a little bit. And as far as the screws up in the numbers being messed up as far as retro and things like that, it's all a mathematical equation because their system is not antiquated to handle the information going into it. And it's a technical issue. Personally, I'd take the whole system and I'd go down to Fort Belvoir and take it into one of them little buildings there where all them geniuses work and let them fix it with AI. And then they put it back in play and it worked just fine.
I don't know if I can ask this, but then what do you guys think about the talk about potentially hinging benefits on income? Because what I wonder is just even that aside, with all the issues with effective dates and ratings, how are you going to now throw in veteran income? Who's going to be calculating all this out and what this particular veteran, should be getting, right?
Well,
I think there's be kind of a mess coming.
speaking with a couple of congressional friends that I have, they've got a group of people who sit around in their buildings there in D.C., a couple miles from you, and they got this big basement building. They go in and sit down, and they put a round table, and they got this big wall set up, and they write these ideas up and put them on plaster and throw them up against the wall and see if they stick. It's called the Congressional Budget Office, and I do personally believe that this is just a think tank. Uh, in order to change anything they have, Congress is going to have to pass a law to change it
Yeah.
because of how, you know. And in order to get these people to work together, it's like that's not going to happen because you got so much division between these two bunch of people now, these different parties, you know, that they're not going to get along. You're going to see a major brawl before you see them pass something that's effective for veterans.
Yeah.
Just like what's that one country I saw the other day that they got into it and was duking it out? Their Congress.
Well, with the
The CBOs, it's basically it's all they do. I mean, you see it every year. You hear the rumors. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
going to cut they're going to cut, they're going to tax you, they're going to do everything. And all of a sudden, these veterans see this. Next thing you know, the line lights up and everybody's panicking over nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I had a number of calls today, so it's been on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
One
Mm.
thing they discussed it,
Go ahead, Alex.
but John, they discussed the fact that they very well may be jacking up the rates on SMC, which
Mm-hmm.
should be interesting because of the high cost of caregivers nowadays. I can remember
They had
back in
a
the days when people used to call SMCS the Corvette payment.
Corvette. Oh.
I don't think you can pay off a Kia right now with that extra 400 a month.
130. Yeah, well, that extra $400. I say, well, that might be with the inflation, that might get you I don't know,
Groceries for the week.
Electric scooter.
a I don't know. I mean, if you're feeding a lot of people like that, it's $400 a week. Might be it might be a little bit touchy,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
I've
So
got six
uh,
here, so
Well, you remember what they were talking about taking TDIU and saying, okay, we're putting you on TDIU, but now you have to give up Social Security to take TDIU.
that's it.
Well,
Mm.
I mean, hell,
That's
I'd
it.
rather be at
Yep.
90% in that environment plus Social Security, not go over the top and then subtract half your income.
Hey, they did it to federal employees under FERS because if you go out on disability under FERS, you get 6% your first year per salary, regardless if you're a GS1 or SES4.
Huh.
You know, and after when the second year starts, you're down to 40%. And then if you have to file, which you are mandated to file for Social Security once you leave the federal employment under FERS. And once that happens, they cut you again when you get Social Security. So you barely have enough money coming in to be paid to pay the insurance because the insurance is very expensive in the federal service. You know, you got your insurance, your health insurance, your dental, and things like that. It's very expensive. So you're lucky to be bringing home $600-700 a month or less, and you get it back when you get a certain age. But during that time period, you've lost your backside. So, you know, so I don't put anything past them, but I don't think this is going to fly with the disabled vets because there's too many people that it's a sympathy card on our part, and once you, uh, I don't think that the voters would let that happen.
yeah.
Well, I don't think there are very many people who are satisfied with their income unless their last name's Bezos or Gates or something like that. I mean, it's the cost of living exorbitant. Look at 25 years ago, you could buy a house without your wife going to work. You can't do that anymore. It's kind of a
Hmm.
crapshoot as to whether two of you'd even qualify. That's insane.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So there was a guy once, Alex, that said, "I'm going to start bottling water and selling to people. They'll buy it." And people laughed at him.
When I
Don't
bought
have to
my
anymore.
first house on BHA loan, the interest rate was 9.25%. And I hear
Hmm.
people screaming in their beer about a 7.25. But
Hmm.
it's all relative.
But the cost of houses I mean, it's just insane now.
Yeah, it's the cost of the house. That's the problem. Is that they
On top of the high interest rate.
But
I don't,
yeah, it's a deal breaker. I can remember back in '96, somebody said this. You have these carbon offsets that people have to pay, or big company has to pay, in order to spew smokestack. So they got to pay the carbon credits. Well, that just gets passed down to us. Anytime the government starts tacking on a tax, and here's the best one I've heard yet. Have you got a paddle board? One of them things about 6, 8 foot long, like a surfboard, in the state of Washington coming up here. I don't care. It doesn't have a 5 horsepower Evinrude on the back of it. You got to get that thing registered for $20 because you're using waterways. We got to inspect it, make sure it doesn't have any bugs and mussels on it before you go to the next watering hole. Who ever heard of that? $20 to register your paddleboard?
Hmm. Freshwater or saltwater?
Fresh water. I imagine salt
So
water too. We're surrounded here. It's
The zebra mussels is a big issue. But they started making them clean off the bass boats. These tournament fishermen, they go to lake to lake to lake to fish, and the zebra mussels would be transferred from one lake to the next, and they're invasive.
I understand
That's the
that.
only reason they're doing that.
We've been dealing with something called milfoil ever since the 70s. It clogs up lakes. It's like an algae.
Hmm.
And boy, I've seen guys pull out of a boat, pull out of the water with their motor up, outboard or whatever, and just jump hanging off of it and drive off. What if you dip
Hmm.
that back into the water someplace else? You've transferred. I don't care if it hung there for 10 weeks, dry. It comes back to life. And it's a nightmare. You got to kill every
Mm,
fish in a lake in order to kill the milfoil.
that's a big problem back east, Alex.
Well,
That's a big problem for Lohnes River, actually, in the backwaters.
I firmly hope that we are able to up the money that we pay to veterans because it's slave wages. From my
Mm,
standpoint, looking at what somebody gets for 50, 60, 70%, they're getting 16.50 a month. You can't live off of that, and very probably you got to spend a small fortune with an attorney trying to get Social Security on top of that.
hmm.
And even then, you're just like one step above dog food for subsistence.
Hmm.
I,
About
Shouldn't be that way.
15 years ago, they came out with a program or an idea, and this thing died in Congress. They wanted to give the people with the higher level special monthly compensation awards within the VA a 25% increase.
Wow.
well,
Nah,
what
that
I like,
disappeared pretty quick. Once the money, I call them money grubbers. Once they see it, they're like, no way, you know.
what I'd like to know,
But
John, is how do you operate a wife for $150 extra per month? That's
say that
like
again.
shoe bill. You should look at the difference between SMCS married and unmarried, and it's about $150. I don't buy
Well, or
that.
K's $136, and so
Wesley and
uh,
I were talking at the table there in between things, and he says, "So, how many pairs of shoes did your wife bring?" And I said, "8. God, I couldn't get my computer into my computer bag. I had to sit on my suitcase to get it zipped shut."
Well, since I was up coming for 3 days, I only had 6 pair.
I don't know how you did it. I did it with 2.
I stopped off in Atlanta, where I am now. I stopped in Atlanta and dropped off another couple of suitcases. Gonna be out here for a couple of weeks. Gotta have choices, doing what you're gonna feel like when you get up.
Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah.
You're funny.
Yeah, we went out west for the last 3 weeks, traveled through New Mexico and Colorado, and we were about 4 days before we were supposed to leave. And I looked at Pam and I said, "How are we going to get all this stuff back?" Well, we go buy another suitcase, put it on. Had to buy a suitcase in order to get back home.
That's what we
easiest
had.
way to handle it.
That's what we had to do, Ray. Debbie had Amazon drop it off at the hotel.
Yeah.
She ordered something and had it dropped off at the hotel.
Well, she went to that White House gift shop right across from the
Oh,
White House, and we took the suitcase with us.
okay.
But girl, I tell you what, some things have to be a lot of fun. I've never actually been to one, but I like to MC one of these days. It'd be pretty cool. But did y'all learn anything at the Nova conference? Did Wesley get to present this year?
He did.
Oh, okay.
What?
He presented on Court of Appeals.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It was a really good presentation he did with Ben Binder.
Hmm.
This is all right.
Was Ben with him? Did Ben show up?
Yeah, he did.
Was Ben there too? Okay,
He was there.
good,
Yes. Yeah.
good.
Good stuff.
Well, That's good because I'm one of their clients right now. We got one going to the next level.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You're in the right hands then.
So, I mean, the BVA couldn't read, and the CABC, I think they need glasses because it's right on their nose, but they won't listen to nobody. If I'm gonna be able, we can get up and argue something ourselves.
The CAVC denied it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're taking
Mm.
it. Okay, so you're taking it
Well,
higher.
yeah,
All right.
I'll take it all the way to Supreme Court if I have to.
Right, right. Well, you're
Mm.
definitely in the right hands.
Mm. Okay. But now, got a question for you now. Um, where does most of your clientele, like, how do you get them? Are they referrals or do they just contact you out of the blue or?
Yeah, it's usually client referrals, just passing clients over to me.
All of mine come through Nova or OGC. I have not advertised at all, and I have more than I can handle right now with the style of living I want to have in my 70s. I don't want to be like working 8 days, 8 days a week.
8 days
Enjoy
a
But
your
week.
yeah,
program there.
I have not. I started out with a couple of pack that clients that were friends, and then I think I've had two referrals, but everything else they just sort of. I found you on OGC. I found
Mm.
so they find me.
Okay. Do you guys do any the Facebook groups like Doug Haynes' pages?
I'm on his group, but I'm not sure what the rules are there. So I haven't responded to anything on his group.
Basically, it's cut and dry. I mean, it's simple answers. You get a
Yeah,
lot.
but I don't
Yeah,
know if I should be advertising the fact that I'm an attorney or just, answer
you don't have
questions.
to.
Yeah.
You just answer the question. You don't have to choose your name. And if I see somebody I think that should go your way, then I'll push them your way.
Okay.
That's what I do. I put people in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm not an agent. Of course, I could have been one years ago. I
Mhm.
probably forgot more on the test than people have learned. Uh, but that's what I do. And I put people in the right direction with the right people.
Yeah.
Um, we brought Mr. Ray to Alex there once,
Hmm.
and that's what I do. And it's been my battles with the VA's been a long, hard fought one. It's like chopping down a oak tree with a Leatherman tool.
With a what too?
A Leatherman tool, those little fold up little tools, got the little knife and a saw blade.
Oh, they have. Oh, okay.
And it takes a while to do that. So, but that's what we
I've
do. I
seen a
mean, we
lot
do
through
we do
my
the
husband too.
we
When
do the
he was
show,
sorry, go ahead.
and we're candid, and we talk to a lot of good people, and we have a lot of followers and things like that. So you possibility you probably get. I don't think you can get overwhelmed. Now, for the old podcast radio show we did, you probably would be. But we used to use Blog Talk, and they went under. I guess it was the Titanic of broadcasting, so they went under and had no survivors, so lost all hands. And then,
Well, you know what? I appreciate it. I enjoy this. I enjoy helping. I
Mhm.
enjoy helping and doing something. This has been a really good fit for me.
Now, do you have to staff yourself, or I mean, you have to have somebody to help you.
Oh, my
I
husband.
mean, you could,
I'm just kidding.
huh?
My kids, no. No, it's just me.
Just you. So you answer the phone, do everything,
I
billing
do
and all.
everything. No.
How do you got
Wait,
time for
I'm
your
sorry.
kids?
What'd you say?
I don't say you got time for that. To tell you the truth, because you got a busy lifestyle, busy, busy.
Well,
I,
I do things when I probably work all the time. So, I think, I mean,
Hmm.
most of my clients have my personal cell phone number and I'm answering calls and text messages 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm pretty accessible.
my brother-in-law told me he knew. I knew when I retired from the state I was going to try to do something with veterans law. But my brother-in-law told me that he had applied for accreditation as an agent, and I said, "Oh, you get accredited?" He said, "You can get accredited." So I looked into it. That was 3 years ago. He still hasn't gotten it yet. And of course, it didn't take long for me to get mine. So he knows a lot. I mean, he's very self-taught. He knows a lot, and so he will jump in and help me some on some things, just so I won't get overwhelmed by the paperwork and stuff.
Yeah.
It's taking over 2 years right now, maybe longer, in order to get
Been 3 for him.
paperwork in for you to get the tests in and taken. But once he does, it usually takes a couple of weeks to get results back. And once he does, they'll give him his they'll give him his information and stuff. You can hit the ground running.
And he's just ready to go. He's got his LLC set up and everything. He's just ready to go.
Oh wow.
It takes a while. We have on Doug Haynes' site there. He posts. I mean, this guy's amazing. He's got this site called how VA disability works. You guys ever seen that?
Yes. His Facebook group and his site. I mean, he's got a lot of good
It's
stuff.
amazing.
It
Yeah,
is. It really
and
is.
right. Faisal has
I have to
amazing
check him
stuff.
out.
You can look him out and just join the group.
Hmm.
And Jim Radoni's part of it. There's a lot of folks.
Hmm.
But Doug's a pretty amazing guy, and that's another product of this guy sitting right here, Mr.
Alan,
Graham. You
Alex,
created
you're
the
in
logo, Alex.
everything, aren't you?
I get
You're a
kicked out of every
busybody.
group I get into. I did all that good work over at Had It, and then they kicked me in the teeth even after I got the owner aid in attendance. No good deed
Oh,
goes unpunished, gentlemen.
I used to be the second command that had it. You know that, Alex?
I know that. I tried desperately to help as many people as I could over there. I didn't get a lot of referrals, but I did hand out a lot of advice. And I'm glad to know that there's a lot of people sent me back emails said, thank you very much for showing me how to win. So I know I did good work. But
Right.
I'm so busy now, I don't have time to go on Facebook. And, well, hell, I can't even count them all. But I belonged to Doug Haynes' group, and then it changed to another group. And then 5 more people said, would you join my group? And hell, if I did all that, I could do that all day long, and I'd never ever have any clients.
Exactly right. I mean, that's. I mean, you're looking at the membership numbers in the groups alone are enormous.
Yeah.
One website that we were talking about earlier, Alex, only had like 26,000 members at their max.
Hmm.
Okay, these Facebook groups are pushing 100,000 plus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's good. I see all these Reddit blogs
Yeah,
on there and stuff, and I see my name being taken in vain on there. Like you need to go see Alex. Well, the upshot of that, the worst upshot was all 4 guys that were in a Humvee or a MRAP that got blown up in Afghanistan. All 4 of them showed up on my doorstep at the same time and said, "We come as a group."
Hmm.
Did you give them the Alex Graham package deal?
I did, and I even took the guy who died on the roof. His wife hadn't got DIC yet, and I got her DIC for free, of course.
That's good.
So, yeah, I got all of. I only have 1 left that they're giving him static on his T.
Mhm.
The rest of them I got all the way through to T.
He'll get it through.
Yeah,
You'll get her done.
my record's unblemished. I'm
You'll get her done.
not bragging. It's just I don't lose. There's one of your buddies in Tennessee. I met him at your gig there a couple 3 years ago. I don't know how to quiet that down.
Mhm.
Well, it'll quit ringing.
Now, there was a John that came on the show a while ago, but he got a phone call, and when he did, this auto feature on this thing will kick you off to answer your phone. And usually put you back in. So I didn't see his rejoin, so maybe that's him calling you. Possibility.
Well,
It's a possibility. I mean, you're looking at you get a lot of people involved, and you're gonna have so much size of the screen. And the more people you get, it looks like the Brady Bunch right now.
well, I'm glad
The
your
Brady Bunch.
screen doesn't show 466 little individual little TV screens of everybody that you're watching your show.
Pretty bad, yeah. No. I'm glad to see you guys are doing well, and Um, I know you guys are. If you're not busy, you're going to be. Because I don't see nothing. There's nothing stopping the VA claims in the future. Um, it's especially with the way these regional officers are denying claims because the appeals process has got to increase because you tell them, oh yeah, we reduced the backlog by 41%. Not telling you that the appeals backlog is up by how many percent? 41? Okay.
You remember Jeannie Bates, Ray?
Hmm.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
I found out finally from Brad Hennings, another former veterans law judge. He was talking about this during the Nova conference, and he says, "Hey, guys have been waiting, had hearings, and are still waiting for a decision." And Jeannie, we did her hearing in April of last year, and I can't dynamite that thing out of the region or the BVA. It's stuck up there like bubble gum. I don't know. Can't get it loose.
Hmm.
Can't get a decision on it.
Well,
Ask.
her husband passed away 15 years ago.
Yeah, 2015. I know. I took it in 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
Is
go
that the
with
ones at
you.
the conference, Ray?
What's that?
yeah. Judy Bates was at our
Was she at the conference?
conference, and
Yeah.
that's where she listened to Matt Alex, and
It's a good thing I'm
he
married.
agreed to
Yeah.
take her
She
on.
slid up to me at lunchtime and put her arm through mine and hauled me in there to the ravioli and said, "I want to talk to you, Mister Graham."
Guys, outreach is a big thing in this business, okay? I mean, we do a lot of it and we try to get together when we can. Um, I mean, Ray has been instrumental uh, in just spreading the word. I mean, he actually has a weekly radio show on an actual radio station down in Winchester, Tennessee, what's Cowan, Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
And he does a lot of stuff. He used to be the Grand Poobah of American Legion down there, and he's done some amazing things. And now he's kind of wanting to back off and kind of semi-retire a little bit. So he decided to come on and start doing this. And
Mm.
yeah, look, that's a big load.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Really?
Wow.
Is that a PA CMP examiner? Okay.
Ridiculous.
Mm. What do you guys think about these uh, decisions that these veterans are receiving? Here's a good one. Say a veteran files for 8 attendance. Alex, you've seen this. And the veteran goes through the CMP exam, and The examiner goes totally in the veteran's favor. His own personal physician writes out the form, puts it as, turns it in. The veteran gets a denial letter, but no actual reason for the denial. There's nothing. He usually tell you why they denied your claim. But under favorable findings,
Yeah.
The veteran requires aid attendance.
Yep. I've had 100 of those. I'll bet you Jenny
Appeal that right to the
about
board.
10 or
Huh?
20.
Let's appeal that right to the board. They just conceded you need aid in attendance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's open and shut case.
Yeah.
Board goes,
It's a favorable
what are we
finding.
doing here?
Right.
We're trying. It should go to an HLR first, though, just in case HLR was willing to overturn it.
I might go right to the board for that.
Yeah, I used to
Mhm.
do that. It just sets you back 4-6 months of going to the board. Why waste your time? They don't know what they're doing at the regional level.
And with the
Yeah.
board, it's what, 9 to 12 months for a decision. For an HLR, you're still looking at 4 to 6 months.
It took me 27 months just to go to a DR direct review the first time.
Yeah, but they've sped up. I mean, it's about 9 to 12 months, I think, right now for the direct view without an AOD.
Well, you got to realize too that back then, I think there was a directive out to get rid of legacy first, so they were kind of piling on the legacy stuff.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right.
But yeah,
Well, listen, guys, we're ready to wind down. Jim, why don't you give your contact information, maybe your website information now, in case the listeners want to see this. Yeah, it'll be up forever. And because broadcasting,
to email it to you.
You can email to me, or you can say it online. You can, if you want to get it out there, just put it out, and people will watch this thing and they'll contact you if they need you.
All right. Well, my website's it's just www.lohneslaw.com.
Okay. And she's driving the truck, folks. She is Lohnes Law. She's the attorney. She's the secretary. She's the driver. I'm serious. She buys all the office supplies. She's office manager. She does it all. So Alex had to get some help. He had to get some staff to help him. He had to do something. And of course, Ray's got a caregiver. She helps him out a whole lot. And
he is Debbie, right?
Yep, Debbie.
Debbie took over my phone, my whole thing with the phones. It's the only way I can get anything done.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you still take the afternoon off to write, Alex?
What's that?
Do you still take the afternoon off to write?
I write legal briefs from 12 straight through to 5 o'clock usually. And
that's a good idea.
I'm trying to take Sundays and write a blog as frequently as I can. Try to keep up with it. I got 17 blogs I want to write. I just don't have time to do
them. I don't have the hands to do it no more, guys. I used to write all the time, but it's neuropathy and stuff. I can't do anything. Barely hold a fishing pole.
Damn, that would be a crime.
I start out throwing them in the water. You make a cast, and there goes the pole.
Well, I'll see what I can do to find you some hazel blades. They're a lot easier to throw than a fishing lure.
Well, listen, guys, we're about out of time. Tamar, won't you give you what? You got a website?
Yeah, I do. It's www. Tamar at TamarDysonLegalServices.com. TamarDysonLegalServices.com. Yeah. Somebody else had Tamar Dyson. Can you believe? Somebody else had Dyson Legal Services.
Well, they do that, things like that, I mean,
it's okay.
Website, it's always a crapshoot, you got to research it. We did expose that, and we had to do a couple this and that, and had to go to WordPress and do stuff. But it can be quite. It can make you pull your hair out, but you know what? I don't have that problem.
You don't, huh?
Well, listen, guys, we appreciate you guys for coming on.
Okay.
It's been fun, and I'm good to meet you guys, and welcome to the family, I'll say. And Ray, thanks always, buddy, as usual.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Alex, thank you for coming on too, buddy. We appreciate you.
Hey.
And we'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you guys again next week.
Everyone take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.